Hello and welcome back to Bohemian Dragon. I am your hostess, Lori, and today we are doing what we do every Thursday. We are promoting indie tarot and oracle deck creators. I really hope that you guys enjoy the decks we cover today. Sorry, I'm checking to make certain that, yes, the chat is up. We're good. All right. So, today, the first one out the gate is called the Seams Tarot. The Southeast Asian Myths and Stories Tarot, a collaborative deck by various artists from the diverse cultures of Southeast Asia. And we are seaming together the various tapestries of our rich folk narratives into a whole. Huh. Well, neat. Okay, so they've got a very large goal though here. I mean, that's pretty steep, but they got 47 days to get it done in. So, all right, let's scroll down and look at the story. Okay. Says in the midst of a global pandemic, a group of tarot enthusiasts and artists from Southeast Asia came together to create a project of hope and of stories. Southeast Asia is the region for the following 11 nations: the Philippines, Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Brunei, Cambodia, Myanmar, Laos, and East Timor. I'll be honest, there's a couple of those I hadn't even heard of. The object of the deck, minus all the costs to raise the funds for the Southeast Asia Tarot Conference, which is targeted to be launched in Singapore in July of 2022. That kind of explains the larger amount. They're trying to also raise funds for the conference. How it began. I'm not going to read this whole thing, you guys, but the story of how this project began was the dreams of two people coming together. Uh, Leonard joined my tarot group on Facebook, which was Tarot Singapore. We chatted and he shared a dream to have a tarot deck in Southeast Asia. I told him I know some people in parts of Southeast Asia, and he told me that he knew people from parts of Southeast Asia. So we pulled all our contacts together, and then I had the idea to present something as a collaborative project. As each nation has its own myths and legends and stories, which have been forgotten by the younger generation and by westernization, we decided to show the world in a new light the dreams and legends of an age long past before colonization and before the invention of the iPad or YouTube. The age when to sail on the sea is an adventure, and the reality of flight is a flight of fancy or fantasy. The age of legends of stories of ancient kings and maiden princes. Or more modern, like Seven of Wands, the invention of martial art like Muay Thai and Lewe. The Seams Tarot was born. Okay. What it consists of: 80 cards total, the standard 78 cards of the tarot, which consists of 22 major arcana and 56 minor arcana, numbering the format of from the Rider-Waite Smith tradition, with a cover card as well as a special Happy Squirrel card. Happy Squirrel card. Each card is a story or myth from a Southeast Asian nation. It says the rich and diverse cultures within Southeast Asia holds many interesting folklore and legends, which blends adventure, mystery, and suspense into a heady mix of stories which the elders pass down to youngsters from generation to generation. The collaborative project of Seams Tarot, we hope to bring this rich tapestry bursting at the seams, sorry guys, of the Southeast Asian folklore and wonders to you. Come and explore the stories that we want to share with you in this deck and let our adventure begin. For those of you that are new to my channel, me yawning doesn't mean that I'm bored. Me yawning means that I have sleep apnea and I can't breathe through my damn nose. So when I talk a lot, I yawn. It says reviews, both visually stunning and symbolically deep. The Seams Tarot is just as rich and colorful as Singapore itself. A must for all collectors and those who love a deck that has real stories to tell. So, okay, so they have 71 cards so far. Oh, and they have a video. Pretty. Hey, look, it's the squirrel. Literally was a squirrel card. That's fun. Okay, so there's a whole long list of artists from all over. And then the happy squirrel. Says the following is a limited edition card back, which will feature cold leaf printing on the back. Ooh, that's pretty. Foil accents really set off the difference between the cards, but I'm loving this colored background. I don't know that I'd want the foil when the color, like, I'm a sucker for colors. Like, this artwork here is just right up my alley. I kind of want it in like a blanket or a pillow. That'd be fun. Stretch goals. With high freight prices and material prices, we're pricing basic. Pricing basis the most competitive rates in the market. Okay. So it looks like, okay, so deck specifications 70 by 120 millimeters, 350 GSM, rounded corners, color booklet. Okay, that tends to make a difference. Lid and box bottom. Printing with skin-like texture. I don't know what that means. Soft touch, maybe? So this is neat. Let's share this. That is if Twitter will behave itself. Okay, go away. Go away. Alright. This is the Witch Farmer Tarot cards. Tarot cards in the theme of Witch Farmers. Limited run of 500 decks. So it's only got 8 days to go, but it just popped up on my list. So I'm wondering where it's been all this time. This is the thing about Kickstarter that it kind of bugs me is when I do these each week, I literally go into Kickstarter, I log in, I hit tarot search, and then I sort it by the newest. So if this one's been out for a while, it should have popped up before now. Yet it didn't. So I wonder why that is. Okay. Well, they're looking for $2,000. There's no video. It says limited edition 500 decks, 22 major, 56 minor arcana revealed before the end of campaign. Size is considered the current standard tarot size. Packed in a tuck box, guidebook included in certain rewards. So they're not including the guidebook and everything. Okay, interesting. It says the limited edition Witch Farmer's Tarot deck features a unique hand-drawn watercolor art style and brand new take on an age-old tradition. Includes all major arcana and minor arcana yet to be designed. Ooh. That might be part of the reason why they're struggling with funding, even though the funding's low. They don't have all of the artwork done yet. Ooh, okay. All reimagined to fit a theme of medieval peasant witchcraft, even with even more cards coming soon. Each major arcana card included in this deck can be used for divination, card games, or as a collector's item for those passionate about the tarot. Says all of the major arcana included in this deck feature a reinterpretation of the classic tarot art style with watercolor art alongside a wide color palette. So, and then they show some of the artwork. Says despite the whimsical air that is given off from the art style, the color palette, much of the art is delightfully macabre. For example, the Hierophant, in contrast to the traditional priestly-looking man holding a triple cross, is replaced with a peasant farmer adorned by a witch hat. The farmer is seen slaughtering a pregnant goat, and her fetal kid is visible. Okay, I don't know why that would be something you'd want to put on a tarot card when it has to do with the Hierophant. There's some questionability going on with this deck. I'll be honest, I don't really feel comfortable sharing this on Twitter, so I'm not going to, but here's the deck. If you like darker decks, this might be for you. This is definitely not my cup of tea. And I'm really concerned that it has 8 days to go and they have not completed all the artwork either. So that concerns me. There's no updates, no comments, no community, nothing. And so that's interesting. Okay. The Landback Tarot and Oracle of Colonization. An indigenous 101 card tarot and oracle deck. Oh, goodness. With a full-size, full-color guidebook for an anti-colonial decentering of realities. And it looks like they're looking for 22,337. So, all right. So the land. Okay, and there's a video. Hold on, let me get to where I can actually show it off here. Okay.
I'm creating a tarot voice that's decolonial and anti-racist and queer and accessible to all these different communities. To do a deck like this was about being an Indigenous tarot reader and having to reinterpret the cards from the Eurocentric understandings of tarot and fitting them into realities that made sense for myself, for my community, and that's who I was reading for. So I'm reframing it in ways that I feel are more appropriate. Sometimes it's just simple things like renaming the high priestess to the healer, because our traditions didn't have priestesses or emperors or empresses, and our understanding and lived realities of those roles and titles has been really harmful. But I wanted to maintain the positive aspects of those cards, so I renamed them and able to describe those positive aspects in ways that are fitting and appropriate for our community. Just the power of saying that devil actually is the church that told you, there was a devil, and strangling the ideas that have hurt us. Putting all the Indigenous people with traditional long hair was part of that. But with the jeans and the t-shirts and the hair, the Two of Cups and the Lovers card and the Four of Arrows, which, all tend to depict romantic relationships, they could be anybody. They're who the reader and the querent needs these cards to be. And other ways that I was able to just make slight changes to the deck to reclaim a marginalized narrative through the deck. The Eight of Swords is typically letting us know that the only person that's holding us back is ourselves. And that's not necessarily true for marginalized folks.
Sometimes it depends
So
on the
my Eight
reading.
of Weapons, we are actually trapped and restrained, and they have caught you, but you still have the tools to attempt to get out of this. And then for the Three of Swords, or Three of Weapons, I named where those weapons come from. And so I depicted French, Spanish, and British American swords through the heart in this card to name
So this is a
where are
very,
those
very
pains coming from?
indigenous
What
deck
are those
and
pains? And yes, those
inclusive
swords
deck. This
are
is
still
interesting.
in there. Um,
And it
and,
is kind of interesting that she
also
chose
adding
to
encouragement to not
redefine
let our
it
hearts fall to the
in
ground.
regards
And
to
so
Native
that
American
also
culture.
is where we come with the Six of Arrows. This is 1492 Landback Lane, in a moment when they took victory after a really hard day. And so we frame the victory of the Six of Arrows into something accessible, something we all know and watched, and something so many of us can understand, that even when you have a day full of losses, you can still take victory at the end of that day. We have a recyclable tuck box, and in the box is 101 tarot cards. So
101.
there is your classic 78 card tarot deck, as well as 23 oracle cards which
Ah,
shadow the major
so
arcana.
it's
What
two
shadows
decks
the
in
high
one.
priestess or
That's
the
really
healer
cool.
is privilege. And we definitely see this in the classic designation of a high priestess. The lovers is righteous rage. Some shadows are beautiful when we are no longer afraid of them. And then also is the Landback Tarot Guidebook, which is a full-sized guidebook. It's in color.
That's
The
nice.
cards have images that go with it. There are 5 spreads in the guidebook, 4 in the beginning and 1 in with the major arcana. I
That's
see
cool.
an increasing number of tarot decks that are anti-colonial or decolonial or anti-racist, that are made by people self-representing their own communities, like I am, and and I'm following in that vein.
This is cool. I really would like to see this funded. I really would like to see this funded. I don't feel like we have enough Native American representation in a lot of the metaphysical community, to be perfectly honest. So this is really cool. So, not going to show everything. Uh, I love that she decided to go with a recycled tuck box. Um, that nod to the, taking care of the earth. She's Lakota and Cajun. Oh, so the arrows are arrows, cups, weapons instead of wands. So this is really neat, and I really hope that she manages to pull it off. Drums, weapons, drums, ace. This is cool. She says 6 years and 5 attempts. So she's been trying to get this off the ground for a while. It looks like though she's got 32 days to go on this, and they're already at 9,400. So if you guys, even if you guys don't back this, please share it out. I would love to see this get funded. I would really love to see this get funded. All right, so then we've got the True Colors Tarot. Now they decided to go for a longer Kickstarter run. Um, they are based out of Portland, Oregon. This is the True Colors Tarot. Let's see. She says, story, I'm a tarot reader and I love collecting tarot decks. I always envisioned that I would do my very own deck one day, and finally I made that step and brought it to completion. Wasn't an easy task for me, but I am extremely proud and happy with the results. The art is a combination of pencil draw art, which is then completed in Photoshop, adding digitally created elements and loads of filters that I wanted to appear very obvious as the style of this project to create many different textures within the art. She says that she's worked completely alone. It took an estimated of 1,800 hours within the last 2 years. She says, unfortunately, I'm not rich. In print, the printing, ISBN registration, shipping, and marketing is quite a large sum. I'm planning to use Print Ninja for this project. The estimated quote I have received for the grand total is 4,736.87, which includes shipping and 450 for a hard copy proof. I decided to go with the coreless, ooh, plus 350 GSM cardstock, which is wonderfully thick and looks very sleek. Additionally, I will also need the ISBN number and barcode, which is $150. Also included in the also including the Kickstarter charges that will be deducted from the sum goal and the costs to fulfill rewards and shipping of those items to the project backers. I might run into marketing costs also, so I'd like to cover those as well. Okay, so she's kind of padded this. Oh. See, there's two schools of thought with this. One, include everything that you need with some padding into the fees, and so run the risk of not getting fully funded because you can't meet the project goal. Or B, not include everything to get the project off the ground, but then potentially run into costs that aren't covered on the back end. So I mean, it's half a dozen one way, six the other. So there's the artwork. I do like that she decided to use the elemental colors for the most, yeah, the elemental colors for the different uh, tarot suits. So that's nice. And then all the other stuff. Okay. So this is interesting. Let's go ahead and share this out. Would have been nice if she had had a few more photos, maybe some close-ups, but I can kind of understand. All right. So next we have Through the Wild Forest Oracle Deck for Very Young Children. A plastic oracle deck, board book, and reference paperback designed for toddlers, very young children, and children at heart. All right, let's Okay, so let's see. She says, How I decided to do illustrations for children. The concept for this project arose after I purchased a divination deck designed for children. I ordered a children's themed deck through another Kickstarter for my young daughter, Kira, at 13 months. Although I'm still excited about receiving this deck, I quickly realized it would be several years before Kira would be able to play with it. She's at an age when oral exploration and destroying paper objects are her primary pastimes. Yeah, toddlers. Okay. Uh, and I still had a problem. Whenever I busted out my own cards for reading, Kira intensely desired to touch them, hold them, and presumably destroy them. Because with toddlers, everything goes into their mouths. Everything. Wouldn't it be great, I asked myself, if a less destructible deck could be designed for young children? And that's how Through the Wild Forest came to be. It says Through the Wild Forest deck is designed with 16 images of North American forest animals. They are grouped into four elements: air and wind, birds; earth, ground animals; fire, dangerous animals; and water, water dwelling animals. Although I wanted a wide variety of animals in the deck, considering this project is designed for young children, I think less is more. Parents will likely be picking up the cards quite a bit, and a deck of 30 to 50 would be at times be a hindrance. Therefore, there are four animals in each section. Oh, she's thinking of the parents. I love it. Okay, this project includes two optional books: a board book storybook following a second person point of view narrative, exploring the forest and learning from the animals that the reader encounters. The language has been simplified and edited for early reading, so this can be used as a learning tool as well. The story includes 9 animals from the card deck. The board book implementation is better equipped for the exploratory habits of very young children. The Oracle Guidebook is designed to meet the traditional expectations of an Oracle deck, with a lengthier narrative utilizing a more advanced vocabulary and reflecting a more mature spiritual nuance from the voices of the animals, as well as providing a more developed narrative that covers all 16 animals in the deck. The guidebook offers Oracle interpretations for spiritual message, omen, totem, and path. Over your time, your child can graduate from the simplified sight recognition of the storybook and begin learning about the transformative power of symbolism and the inherent magic of nature through the Oracle Guidebook. It says, see all the card designs by clicking on the fox image. The final cards will appear in a few days. So, I'm not going to show everything off. Informal video. So it looks like there's some bags possibly for stretch goals, possibly. It says I have set the goal for this Kickstarter at the minimum I would need to print 500 board books, the minimum order from my chosen manufacturer, along with a minimum order of cards per backers. I'm optimistically hopeful we can do much better. Here are the following stretch goals: 5,000 spot color on cards, embossing, Oracle book printed in hardback, gold embossing on the Oracle book, upgrade tote size, personal totem card selected for you by Melody. That's cool. So, and then it's got different packages. I love that she decided to create this with plastic cards. This is nice. This is great. And I really see this being very, very helpful for parents that have small kids, that want to start teaching them, spirituality early. You know, this is great. Okay, come on, Twitter, behave. All right. All right. So, this is the Deep Place Oracle deck, a 60 card Oracle deck that illuminates the above, the below, and the liminal. It looks like they are at half their funding with 25 days to go. All right, so it says, Welcome to the Deep Place. This project, oh god, I'm so sorry, guys. This project began as a collection of Oracle art. My intention is creating this digital collage series was to invite folks into a deeper seeing, feeling, and knowing into the oracular. As I created, an idea for an Oracle deck began to emerge. Here it is. At its core, this deck is an invitation into the deep place, a space to feel deeply, grieve for real, create from the soul, and explore what's alive in the shadows. A space where there's freedom to wander, permission to descend, and room to ask the big questions. Because sometimes we need a space with more room, more depth, more possibility, and more mystery than is available to us in the day to day flow of everyday life. My hope is that these cards invite you into something deeper and support you in making room, opening space for truth telling, grief journeying, mystery dwelling, beauty seeking, and magic making. All right. As you guys know, I am a sucker for collage artwork. This is beautiful. So it says deck architecture. The deck is divided into three categories: the above, the below, and the liminal. The above speaks to the daylight world, to what's visible and clear, to what we can see, know, and experience in the full light and color. The below refers to the underworld, to the unseen and subconscious, the mysteries, the shadows, to all that's alive below the surface. The liminal illustrates the both and the neither nor, and the spaces between. The deep place is a sanctuary for all of it and for all of us. It says, here are the 60 cards divided by category. Above, below, and liminal. Says this deck includes all 60 cards pictured above, printed on 350 GSM paper with matte finish and gold edging. Cards measure 3 by 4 by 7.5. So a lot of Oracle decks, like I've said previously, are a little wider than your standard tarot cards to help with differentiation. Um, this is not like the widest I've ever seen, but I will say that um, Oracle decks that are wider have a harder. They're harder to shuffle. A guidebook and two-part box are included. I will also be hosting a virtual gathering for all backers to discuss the deck plus offer some ideas for working with it. U.S. shipping is included for all rewards. International shipping is also available, although please be aware of any customs or VAT fees are not included in the shipping rate. Yeah, okay. Looks like she's doing some different tiers. Like if you just want, oh goodness, just want some of the artwork, you can get postcards, which I think is good. It says the primary challenge will be the logistics of ordering, packaging, and mailing the rewards. Given fulfillment date of November. Giving yourself time. That's probably good and smart. So, this is neat. This is pretty. Let's share this one out. Okay, two more. All right, the Creative Love Oracle Limited Edition, a modern and aesthetic love oracle, easy to read and straight to the point. All right, so now there's a couple of these cards that smack of the. There's not one called Twin Flames, but there's a couple of these cards that smack of the Twin Flames idea. So take this with a grain of salt, okay? And if you guys want to know more why I say that, um, come listen to my rants sometimes on Instagram. All right, so this one's out of Germany. Um, oh, Oracle deck is limited, will end in 14 days. Okay, so they're trying to get this done fast. And it's already fully funded? I didn't think it was fully funded. Oh, okay, it's already fully funded. Um, so Says my love for oracles comes from reading the tarot and other oracles ever since my childhood. Last year, I started to design a little oracle deck just for myself. After getting great feedback from friends, I decided it would be great to design an oracle that many people, especially those with a strong girly feminine side, feel the connection to. This is the idea where the idea of the creative love oracle was born. So, and then it says, love is a topic that many of us are interested in when getting a tarot reading. Me, always curious about love and divination. I found there aren't really a lot of love oracles that I am personally and most importantly aesthetically drawn to. This is why I created the creative love. But because it's way too cute to keep to myself, I decided it would be great to share with others. 44 card deck, printed on 350 GSM smooth cardstock, secured by a plastic band. Cards will be the same as a traditional Oracle card size. Okay, so this is the bigger size of Oracle cards. So 5 inches. Um, Makes them a lot harder to shuffle. So she's got some interesting artwork and some ideas here. Um, Tuck box says letting Oracle cards produced. Okay, this must be a translation issue because she's from Germany. Very expensive thing. Sure, I could go the print on demand route, but I honestly think it's the best thing to do for Oracle Tarot card cards. It would be way too expensive for one deck, and I wouldn't be able to offer it at a fair price for everyone. If you look on sites like Etsy, you will find many charged above €50 for one deck. Well, yes, because that's what happens. Because there's a lot that goes into these decks. So to be honest, I can't afford to let them print it in large numbers all by myself. Um, okay. If this Kickstarter gets funded, you can expect to receive the items you backed in the backer tier you purchased. See below for more information. Hypothetical timeline. Okay, international. So by July. Keep in mind COVID. So this is where I get kind of like worried. It says the cards will be printed in Italy. The printing company is ecologically and Cards Crafts Games 100% in Italy and sustainable approach, 100% solar energy, 100% recycled best paper card stock or paper stock from Europe, and food grade inks for printing. And then an Aphrodite set. One Aphrodite candle, love attraction oil, and a deck. Interesting. So says I live in Germany. Current shipping prices are about €16 for shipping with tracking number and insurance. Please be aware that some countries do not permit the import of esoteric goods such as tarot oracle cards. I'm going to have to look that up because I don't know of any country that does that beyond. I think there's some in the United Arab Emirates, maybe like Iran type of area, possibly. But other than that, I don't think there is any other country. You know what? I'm gonna have to look that up because that should be something I should cover in a video at some point. So, all right. So that is the Creative Love Oracle. It's an interesting concept. Like I said, there's a couple of the cards that like they kind of smack of that twin flame type of thing, which I well, I'll just be honest, twin flame is not a thing. Okay. Love Thyself, a 50 card oracle deck. And let's watch. Oh my god. Um Okay, it's a pretty deck. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna fault her for the fact that she used Filmora to do this, because you gotta do what you gotta do, you know? This is a very feminine deck. A lot of girl power going on with this one. I love that she's got women of all shapes, sizes, colors, races. Sorry, large cat holding woman. Fun. I love that she puts the meanings on the bottom. Simpler decks like that make them easy to read are really great. Alright, so Love Thyself Oracle deck. This is an Oracle deck to challenge you, push you to dive deeper, help you realize your full potential, and give you the tools to create your own reality. You have the power to transform your life right now. Whether you're already trying to find self-care in your life, or this is a totally new concept, this revolutionary deck of cards will literally change the way you think. This deck features 50 cards to inspire you visually, and each card has a detailed description in this guidebook that will help entice your mind to rewrite your thoughts for success in all aspects of your life. You are deserving of self-love. Unlock your inner power of manifestation. Your life can be anything you want it to be. Get excited for the future that awaits. Stop avoiding. Control your inner strength. See, this is the one I was giggling about. This is so cute. Time is relative. Ways to share. Oh, the guidebook's cute! 200 plus page guidebook. The guidebook's really cute, though. I like the design. And then possible add-on items including a sweatshirt or tank top. Fun. I am the sun. Balance your heart and mind. What is this? This is not a tarot deck. This is not a catchy gimmick. These cards harness the power of thousands of years of self-help condensed down into habit-changing pattern development. The goal of this guide and deck is to retrain your brain, reprogram your negative self-talk, and create healthier mental habits. This guidebook presents ideas from trans-surfing to be prepared to alter your reality and create a reality where you thrive. Neat. I'm getting messaged by Alex. Self-love. Why self-love? Well, forgive yourself. There's one that a lot of people need to do. This is a very woman-oriented deck. I would really love to see the artist and the deck designer come up with, like, a masculine version of this because I feel like there's a lot of decks, a lot of things in the self. Like if you talk about like positivity or self love or all of that, a lot of it is geared more towards women. Which I'm not saying that we don't need self love, but I feel like it's needed for men too, like straight men and not just gay men. You know, um, it's one of those things that's like I'm seeing more decks that are inclusive and that's good, but if we're gonna address all of the groups, let's address all of the groups. Um, I don't know, cause like my husband reads for himself, and you know maybe he'd be interested in a deck like this if there was a male version. So it's just something to think about because there is a lot more femininity stuff. But I am loving that she's got all different races, colors, sizes. It's very inclusive for all women. She said when initially setting out to create this deck, there were over 200 cards. Wow, that's impressive. She says, "My name is Thea. I am an artist, tarot lover, and personal trainer. I've designed two tarot decks, and I am so proud to have now created an oracle deck. The first deck I created, Painted Tarot, was an emotional journey for me. After a near-death experience, I decided to finally create a tarot deck." Wow, near-death experience. And then Cats in Space tarot deck. Oh, she's the creator of Cats in Space. Okay, so if you guys have not seen this, I gotta share this real fast because like I have seen pictures of this on Etsy, and oh my god, it's super cute. So it's literally Cats in Space, and it's a tarot deck, and it's art collage, and it's kind of on my wish list. Not gonna lie. I have a soft spot for cat themed tarot decks. So, alright. Well, that's cool. Okay. So, and then affirmations. Oh my goodness. Okay. Um, should have rewards by October, but if there's delay, she will let know immediately. Shipping costs were an issue with previous Kickstarter, so I have unfortunately had to increase shipping costs $23 internationally and $7 in the US. I wish I did not have to charge so much. Unfortunately, international shipping is usually $28 to $36. Your shipping costs also cover the packaging since I'm taking extra care with how each of these will be packaged. You know what? That makes sense though. I mean, it really does. Shipping has gotten really expensive. So, tank top. So she's got all sorts of different tiers here. So this is a fun deck. This is a fun deck. I really hope that she makes it. She's got 22 days to go. And now that I know she's the author of the Cats in Space Tarot deck, that's even more fun. All right. I'm going to tweet this last one out. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I really, really appreciate it. Um, if you guys have a deck that you want me to cover that I have not covered, that you feel like needs a little more love and attention to get off the ground, please, please, please hit me up in the comments below or on Twitter or Instagram or one of my social medias and let me know about it. I would be happy to cover it and give it some love. So I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!